Okay, so today is Tuesday, and this is Good Morning Africa live on Pan-African Television. My name is Kwame Owusu Danso. This is the News Review segment. I want to say a big thank you to the 6 a.m. news team for bringing us the news at 6, as well as the sports team, Brazil de facto, People's Dispatch, and the interview that we just ended. Now we're here to discuss all the issues that have made its way, or found its way, if you will, into the various newspapers we have in the country. We've selected a few of them that we're going to be touching on this morning. I would want to implore all of you to share with us what your thoughts are via our WhatsApp and text number, which is 0260846539. 0260846539. Let me remind you that we're also streaming live on Facebook, facebook.com/Pan-African Television. So you can as well share with us what your thoughts are. I am also very active on Facebook. Kwame Owusu Danso is my Facebook page. So you can as well go on there and watch the live feed on my page. I'll be sharing them on several other platforms as well. So if you happen to chance on that, do not hesitate to share it so others can get the opportunity to watch as well. Welcome aboard once more, and I hope that you have a cup of coffee right next to you, or you have a bottle of water, or if you just finished eating your 2 balls of kinky or 2 balls of banku. Yeah, anyway, we're still here to educate ourselves this morning. Let me, before commencing, say a very, very big, monumental happy birthday to you, Alberta Ya Adu. Alberta Ya Adu, aka Mame Sewa of Pan-African Television, aka Stubborn, Ohiani Stubborn Proud. So it's your birthday today. We wish you nothing but the best. We hope that you're going to continue to be who you are, and you're going to continue to make us all happy here at Pan-African Television. Wish you all the best. Also, going out to you, Philip of Kulung. So that's Alberta's picture on your screens now. Today's a birthday. We want to specially celebrate. Also to Philip of Kulung Ghana Limited. Today is your birthday. Philip, good morning to you, and a happy birthday to you as well. I wish you all the best, and may God grant you all your heart desires. I've been joined in the studios by 3 of my very good friends and firebrands. Saka Salia is here seated. Hey, Charlie. I don't know, my brain just blocked.
It will block. Benjamin is here, is also here seated.
What did you say?
Benjamin is here.
You know, like, I want to mention your name first, yeah? But the name is album to Saka. Anyway, Ben, forgive me. No. Benjamin Isia is actually a very good friend of mine, but every time when he comes here, I seem to forget his name. Yeah. Anyway, Benjamin, good morning to you. Benjamin is sitting in for the national organizer of the CPP, who is on his way to Nkrofo this morning, so he couldn't join us. But of course, you do know that Benjamin is equally very knowledgeable when it comes to discussing the political issues. Also here seated for the first time, I believe, is Malik Basintale, who is the Savannah Regional Communications Officer for the NDC, who's doing some amazing things in that particular enclave. He's putting the feet of the Akufo-Addo government to the fire of accountability, and is making sure that he's reaching out to his people, oftentimes, to ensure that the people are apprised with what they need to know relative to our political conversation. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. First time in the morning.
First time in the morning. Yes. First time in the morning on Pan-African Television. Right. So let me quickly take you through the topic. Hotel Rwanda hero Paul Rusesabagina charged with terrorism. Anyway, EC fixes October 5th to 9th for filing nominations. And I'm sure by now you are aware. If you are not aware, I'm telling you that now the filing fee for the presidential aspirants is 100,000 Ghana cedis. 100,000 Ghana cedis. That's about 100% increase from the original 50,000 that was in 2016. And I'm sure you are aware again that in 2016, because of the increment in the figures, to the 50,000, a lot of the other political parties were up in arms, particularly the New Patriotic Party. And even we found the PPP as well as the GCFP, I believe, go to court to challenge that particular figure. But what is the MPP saying now? I think the MPP is very comfortable. It intimates clearly, unequivocally, that if you don't have money, don't even try to contest. he's okay with the 100,000. Yeah, the power of power. So we're going to be touching on that. Nana Jane is a game changer. Nanan Kechia says that's on the front page of the Daily Post newspaper today. We don't tolerate violence in election 2020. We won't, I beg your pardon, tolerate violence in election 2020. That has been aptly captured on the front page of the new crusading guide. And the president is the one who has been talking. I hope that he's going to follow through with the statement that he's actually put forward. So these are the topics that we've selected for our conversation today. And so we're going to kickstart the conversation from an African perspective. Hotel Rwanda hero Paul, the name, forgive me, but is Rusesabagina, charged with terrorism. And that has been captured by who has the Ghanaian Times, respectfully? Who has the Ghanaian Times? I just want to read a bit of the story so that we can apprise ourselves fully with the substance in that particular African story. Who has it? Do we have it there? Oh, okay. Otherwise, I'll halt that and come back and deal with that later. You have it. Okay, thank you very much, sir. So usually, the stories are on page 5. So let's just quickly go through that. Okay. Paul Rusesabagina, portrayed as a hero in a Hollywood movie about Rwanda's 1994 genocide, has faced 12 charges, including terrorism, in a case shining a spotlight on opposition to President Paul Kagame. Brought to a Kigali court handcuffed in a van inscribed RIB for Rwanda Investigation Bureau, Rusesabagina wore an anti-coronavirus mask and sat pensively during the hearing on Monday. He did not immediately offer a plea, but one of his government-appointed lawyers, David Rugaza, and said Rusesabagina was on trial for exercising his freedom of speech. Rusesabagina, who once called for armed resistance to the government in a YouTube video, was accused of terrorism, complicity in murder, and forming or joining an armed group, among other charges. Now, the 66-year-old former hotel manager was portrayed in the Oscar-nominated film Hotel Rwanda, using his connections with the Hutu elite to protect more than 1,000 Tutsis fleeing the genocide. After the genocide, Rusesabagina acquired Belgian citizenship and became a resident of the United States, turning into a strong critic of Kagame, whom he accused of stifling the opposition. He got a Belgian citizenship in 1999, and therefore there is another key issue here, where one might say that Rwanda is trying a foreign citizen on freedom of expression that he enjoyed while abroad. Rugaza told the one-judge hearing. Rusesabagina is the recipient of several international honors, including the U.S. Presidential Medal of Freedom, which President George W. Bush awarded him in 2005. Saka, are you surprised?
Yeah, Kwame, thank you very much. Good morning to our cherished viewers.
Right.
Before I start, let me send my greetings to Nana Akufo-Addo, the president and the president to be elected. Kwame, do you know Hadia Umu has given birth?
Oh, she has?
Yeah. She has
congratulations to Hadia.
Yeah, thank you. She's thank you. Yeah, and then
because she's failed to pick my calls, so I decided to
I mean, it was because of she was in
heavily pregnant.
Yeah, heavily pregnant, and she was not picking calls then. Somebody was doing that on her behalf.
I see.
Yeah, but we'll be doing the naming ceremony this Thursday.
This Thursday, where?
Yeah, at Adenta.
Okay.
So
we'll find time.
I hope. No, let's see whether we can go. I can go with you.
No sweat. We'll be
there.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
But congratulations to her.
Very beautiful baby girl.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful.
Wow.
I think the lady has come. The baby has come with luck.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Until West Central is lucky to have their baby. Yeah, Kwame.
Yes, my boss.
About the Hotel Rwanda hero who is now being charged and all that. This is symptomatic of African leaders. I mean, when your reign is under threat, and then the person that you see as heir apparent is raging on. Normally, what they do is to level some charges, against such people. And we have seen it over and over in different jurisdictions, where Trump-up charges has been leveled against an opponent, and then incarcerated after thereafter, and all that. If you look at this particular story, I think we ever discussed this story here.
Yes, we have.
About a month ago or so. And all of us, those of us who were here, came to the conclusion that what is happening there, I think Rwanda, you weren't here when we discussed it. I think
I was in Rwanda when you discussed Rwanda.
No, you were somewhere, but I think it was Justice,
right.
Yes. And I cited an example about Rwanda where invariably, anytime there is anything good, Rwanda is always taken as a yardstick, as a standard to aspire to, and all that. But when it comes to human rights abuse, when it comes to extrajudicial killings and arrests and all that, I think that there's something that they also need to learn from some of us. In some of us here means other African countries like Ghana and all that. It is good, to have all the standard, to be able to develop your people, to aspire to leave a legacy of better, Rwanda. But when it comes to human rights, and that brings to sharp focus. All those people who are development oriented and want to see development to the next level, in the past, they've always gone that way of stifling free speech, of stifling people from ascending to leadership. And it's not far-fetched. Even in our own country, we could see what happened during the period of Kwame Nkrumah. Even though he was development-oriented, freedom of speech, and all those things were thrown to the dogs. And not only even in Ghana, it was part and parcel of the trend within that period, where people were practicing more or less hegemony. People were practicing a kind of democracy or governance that you don't even know who succeeds them, because they feel they needed to have the freedom, they needed to have the peace of mind in order to have their way, and that any dissenting view is viewed as distraction, and therefore such people must be done away with, and all that. And we are seeing it in Rwanda. You see, they are so development oriented to the extent that no dissension is permitted, and I think that in real democracy you don't do that. You have it's supposed to be a delicate balance. You balance dissension views with your development orientations and all that. So for me, all these charges about leading a terrorist group just because the person has made or have served notice of intention to contest the Rwandan presidency and all that. So it's condemnable, and for me, I think that is a bad thing for them to engage in. Let everybody aspire to be who he wants to be, irrespective of whether the person is in the side of the government of the day. But to go around charging people with, Trump-up charges, for me, is something that we should all condemn. But as it is, he's taken through due process.
Okay.
And I pray that the due process will be followed to the letter. And if he should be exonerated, he should be exonerated.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not just about following the due process, it's about the outcome of that process that matters.
Exactly.
When you have people who, and Lord Denning puts it very accurately, that justice is rooted in confidence. And that confidence is destroyed if a person leaves the courtroom thinking the judge was biased.
Yeah.
And in many instances across the African continent, we do know that the justices of the Supreme Court or what have you pander to the whims and caprices of their political, leaders. And so you find that oftentimes the decisions that are being reached by the courts are explained from a different. If you explain from a different perspective, it's not the exactitude of what is supposed to come out from the court, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate to have that even notion that the justices of the Supreme Court must pander to political leadership.
Unfortunately.
Because they are the bastions of our rule of law.
Absolutely.
They are the last hope for the hopeless. And for them to take that posture, I think that is quite unfortunate. That's the reason why, if you look at any working democracy, even when we don't even have democracy, the judiciary is supposed to be working, because the judiciary is one organ of state that you can't suspend or do away with. The last thing that you will do by doing away with the judiciary means that you are doing away with the country itself. And to think that they will be thinking or they will be
and speak against Paul Kagame. I mean, you'll be be picked up.
Yeah, I mean,
and largely they lay claim substantially to where they've come from. The fact that this was Rwanda. I mean, before 1994.
Yeah.
I mean, 1994 Rwanda was nothing to write home about, and has taken, according to them, the great, if you will, vision of Paul Kagame to bring them to where they are now. So they don't want anything that will derail that trajectory in their own estimation.
Exactly.
So nothing at all will be countenanced when it is at variance with, Yeah,
I mean, like as I told you, if you look at the post-independent sub-Saharan African countries, that was exactly what was happening. For instance, when Nkrumah came, and he felt that we needed to move to the next level, and therefore distractions and all those things must not be part of our governance. But you see, as we move on, and even in other you see, if you go to Asia, the Asian targets and all those, I mean, they were people who had a certain governance for a very long time. One family would take over a dynasty, and rule for a very long time. And to them, that ensure continuity and development and all that. But I think that there has been a change. The world has moved on. There's a complete, variance from the past. Now it's about the people. You see, it's not about what do you call it? Some leader who think that he knows so much.
He's the only person with fortitude.
He knows so much and lord his will over the people and think that the people will also assimilate it. It's just about the people. Even if what we are doing is unpopular, you have to let the people in. You have to go with the people. Let the people understand what is happening.
Absolutely.
And then for a leader, you sometimes go wayward.
Okay.
Once in a while.
I think
you need dissension views for you to correct and then move on.
I think we've been expansive enough in the argument from your perspective. Let me now come to Benjamin. Benjamin, good morning to you again.
Good morning.
I love your forehead shining.
Shining.
Yeah, shining.
The forehead tells you that lawyer Ivor Greenstreet is going to win this election.
Okay.
And wherever NACP member goes, it shines.
Okay.
It tells you that we are on course to win and then put Ghana in a better.
Why is it that? I have a problem. Why is it when CPP is talking about winning the 2020 elections?
Yeah.
You see people, showing signs of smirk on their faces.
I think,
particularly the MPP and the NDC, they have some smirk on their faces as though, what is he talking about?
It's the same way when we started fighting for independence in the 1950s or later 1950s. People said we could not, but we did. In this year's election, CPP calls it self-government now election.
I see.
From these two imperialist parties who have been ruling since 1993, and we've not seen any change. We only see poverty, and development among the larger populace. So now, lawyer Ivor Greenstreet is telling you that if you are voting for the CPP, you are voting for yourself, you are voting for your own development, you are voting for your housing, you are voting for your own welfare and the improvement in the status quo, as we've been seeing over the years.
So you'll be governing yourself.
You'll
be determining your own
everything yourself.
Your own rent.
That is it. Because things will work for you as we did in the earlier days of.
Sure.
I largely agree with my senior brother Saka. Only that he mentioned Nkrumah many times. I don't know why. These days, when MPP is talking, they don't mention their party members or their ancestors or their predecessors. They mention other parties' predecessors. I don't know why he brought Nkrumah in and said Nkrumah. What did Nkrumah do? Nkrumah is not Paul Kagame. Nkrumah did everything and the CPP did everything under the constitutional mandate of that republic in those eras. So I don't know why he brought his name. Now to the topic, Kwame, I'm confused and a bit shocked about how this man was arrested, because if you read the topic deeply, I'm told this man is a Belgian and holds a green card from US and also was in US, Texas, before he went to Dubai, and they don't know. The story tells us that they don't even know how this man was taken from Dubai to Rwanda. So even the daughter was saying that this man was even kidnapped. That's according to the story. How was he kidnapped? That's another challenge there. But I would say that, not talking much about this on this topic, I would say that Paul should tread cautiously, because this man is partly African, partly Belgian, and partly American. So if Paul, the peace with which he's having in ruling or governing his people, if he doesn't want the peace and the sustainability or the stability of his country, he should treat this man carefully. Otherwise, if he goes against the status quo, as we know, he goes against the West. I think Paul and they are all even Paul. This one is Paul
Rusesagina.
Bagina. We have names.
No, they are named there, but
they are names. It may be a good name, just that we don't know actually the meaning of it. I think
their first president was called Habyarimana.
You have been there, so you know them well. So what I can say is that I think Paul should tread cautiously on this particular subject, because arresting your opponents will not give you will not give you that limelight or that like dictatorial mandate control. You having, right? Because the moment you continue to arrest, this is not the first. I think earlier other persons were, a lady was arrested. This is the second.
Angie.
Who is next? So you are creating anxiety among your people in such a way that if people want to use your people against you, these same people you are arresting, they have cohorts and they have masses who support them, right? So the more you arrest, you are building a mass base for your opponents to use against you. I think if Paul is watching, I know Paul watches Pan-African TV, whatever it is, because it cuts across Africa. If Paul is watching, what we are telling Paul is that he should tread cautiously and handle this matter. Otherwise, Rwanda, as we know, its progressive move will be under attack. There will not be that stability we are seeing. There will not be that development we are seeing. So I will not talk much about it, because sometimes when you don't know the status quo, the social culture dynamics of a country, you don't have to pronounce certain judgments on whatever is happening.
No, I mean, you see, oftentimes we need to explain progression, if you will, from a historical perspective. And history has taught them a lot.
Yeah.
And so whenever they are seeking to do anything, they make references to the past. And they try not to allow for anybody truncate that development that they've made, or that progressive move that they've achieved over the period, Yeah. And so that's why I'm saying that I don't know the video that was made by this man, Paul. Right? But if there's even an iota of suggestion, if you will, that he intends to destabilize that country through his utterances, whatnot, right? Then they would not hesitate at all to call for his arrest, and this is standard practice in Rwanda.
Yes, but you see, from history also tells you that when you arrest your opponents too much, even in the case of Ghana, in certain sometime
they'll come together. The enemies will come together,
right, and then come against you.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm advising, that for us not to get a destabilized economy.
All right.
Rwanda is growing. He should tread cautiously on this particular matter.
Basintale. Yes, my boss.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. And
good morning to the incoming President of the Republic, President Mahama.
I thought he was mentioning the Igbo.
He would be holding a town hall meeting in the Ashanti region. He would get down with the people. He would digest his manifesto. He would allow them to interrogate it. He would answer questions. And I think that today we would address lots of the challenges, especially as Kumasi is a business hub and a place where, many people will be largely affected by President Akufo-Addo's decision in banning the importation of second-hand vehicles.
No, that decision has been reviewed.
It has been suspended.
Yes.
It has been suspended.
So
suspension means that when he wins, he can bring it back.
Yeah.
If he wants us to be very clear on this, he should say, I've abrogated it. have annulled it so that we can come into consensus in saying that you have properly implemented what the NDC seeks to achieve. But in suspending it, you could bring it at any point in time. And so I think that President Mahama will interrogate with them. He will speak with them. They would understand issues better. So today, I entreat everybody to watch. I know it will be showcased live on Pan-African TV, and persons must watch. Secondly, yesterday something interesting happened. Lots of Okada riders stormed the premises of a certain media house.
Was it not staged?
And in fact, no, not at all. No one, I mean, even if it was deployed, you must have a sense of commitment to whatever you are going there to do before you move. I mean, if I am sitting down and President Akufo-Addo today comes to give me 10,000 and says ride a motorbike and come and jubilate, I either take a decision of going or not. And my decision will be based on the fact as to whether I accept what the person wants to do for me or not. And so whether it was staged, it wasn't staged. The people went there willingly.
That wasn't staged.
Whether it was, it wasn't. I know it wasn't.
Okay.
But let's agree for the purposes of this argument
okay,
that even if it was staged, the people went there with a mindset of falling in line with the vision of President Mahama. Because that promise is not for President Mahama to enjoy. It's for a certain group of people to enjoy. And so if the people decided to go and thank him for that promise, I don't see why somebody would think that it was staged or that wasn't staged or what have you. But that argument aside, I listened to my brother's speech, and he made efforts in saying that, I mean, Ivory Green Street, they was going to win the election, and I think you chipped in by saying that anytime that happens, other people feel jittery and what have you. I mean, let me encourage him that he should keep doing well. I understand, and I remember him say that even in independence, some people's family, President Akufo-Addo's family members, did not believe in his self-government now, and they thought that it should be within the shortest possible time. So I'm not surprised that he's pointing fingers at the MPP caucus, because they have a history to that, where President Akufo-Addo's family rejected. And in fact, after he even fought for the independence of Ghana, they still fought him and made sure he had left the country. And in fact, until recent times, the descendants of that cruel generation today have decided to even change the founders' day of this country and to describe it as another day of founders with S and an asterisk and what have you, just because they want to denigrate the toil of President Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Okay. So I think that I'm not surprised in that regard as well. So my brother, keep on. You are encouraged. I treat all political parties as an opposition party, because I feel that we are contesting. Just that with the level of failure in the MPP government, the CPP may even perform better than them in this upcoming election. Just that the NDC will emerge victorious. In this Hotel Rwanda issue, I haven't read the story so much.
Right.
But what I see in this whole thing is an act of political involvement in these agencies, be it the BNI, be it the FBI, be it the Ghana Police Service, be it the military service, or what have you. And you see, in this whole thing, let us not go far. Let's draw our minds back to what happened even in this country some years ago, and in fact some months ago. In 2019, you remember that there was this same attempt after a police commander, I think ACP Agbozo, right? Had a presentation on how political parties had been intruding in the affairs of the police service. 1 week after, he was arrested and charged with a so-called coup attempt or what have you. You remember, that issue where a superintendent Tobu was also arrested in line with that. In fact, ACP Kofi Boakye, COP Kofi Boakye, Nathan Kofi Boakye, was also mentioned and invited for questioning. Why? Because some people felt that these persons, and I had a lawyer, in fact, speak extensively about these issues, and he attributed it to the fact that they felt that he was going against politicians, and they felt that he was speaking against the government of the day, because he spoke about how they had involved themselves in police activities and what have you. Look, recently, and they granted permits for a demonstration in the Eastern region over a very frivolous issue. Very frivolous. Just yesterday, civil society groups also took a case, a letter to the police hierarchy, stating that they needed police guidance to also demonstrate against the Ejapa deal. What happened? They denied them. So this, my brother, I beg your pardon. So this whole issue has to simply do with political involvement in the affairs and government involvement. We cannot discuss Rwanda when we have similar issues in our backyards, and we decide to turn a blind eye to it, and then we consistently hit on what is happening in another man's country. I may be a little biased in this, but I also think in reading the story that it has to do samely, equally, with political involvement. I listened to my good brother Ben speak about this whole issue. And in fact, he also lamented his frustrations in how they sought to crucify somebody probably who even acquired the citizenship. Yes, he was first from the Rwanda, but I think somewhere in 1999, upon reading the story, he acquired a Belgium citizenship. And then today, they are attempting to crucify him because he had stiff opposition. And for all you know, he still has stiff opposition to the president of the day. And I think that we must find ways of going over dicks in the African country. And in fact, in the African continent. Because the level of government involvement, the level of victimization in the country is not getting any better. Look, I can't discuss this also without talking of you persons from the media fraternity. You have, be engaged in some of these crucifixions. You remember Manasseh Azure, how he had to run away from this country just because his recent bastardizing of the government of the day resulted in threats, and even his wife and child had to relocate into another house and what have you. You remember the issue of Kopek Dankanamwa recently attacking the government, and then what happened? His wife and children. In fact, you remember the Anas issue where Ahmed Swale, who had conducted an investigation into the government of the day, was murdered in broad daylight. So lots of these crucifixions, keep happening in a lot of African countries. You understand? And sometimes this victimization, it's not getting any better.
So in your estimation, we need to put parity with what is happening.
We need to go beyond this. Absolutely.
And,
we need to
and juxtapose same with what is happening in Ghana.
We have lots of similar situations.
And you're saying that from your perspective,
absolutely,
what is happening in Rwanda is as a result of crucifixion and victimization.
I mean, if you read the story, because
of stiff opposition.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If you read the story, it leads to that. And I think that even in Saka's estimation, he also spoke about that. In Ben's estimation, they spoke about that. And everybody sought to vindicate the man. I think that yes, justice must be served, but let's go beyond that in African context. Right. I have monitored UK elections, UK politics, US politics, and what have you. Yeah. And I see how they tend to tolerate one another.
Absolutely.
And they attack each other, they insult each other, but sometimes they are very decorous in these things. And you don't find them trying to victimize the opposition leader and try to stand him trial. You know, I don't want to go back to what happened after the Rawlings regime in 2001, 2002, how people were victimized and taken to court. People were threatened. In fact, President Rawlings' wife was standing trial. You remember all those issues. And how President Mills, after winning 2008, sought to take the father for all situation and what have you. So these are similar things. These are things that happen in our backyard. Okay. And I think that on a very fair note, I beg your pardon, on a very fair note and without political involvement.
All right.
Look, Kwame, let's go beyond this, and then we can make Africa a very great.
Thank you very much. Justice must not only justice must not only be done. Let me mention the WhatsApp number again. The WhatsApp number is Sakasalia with the grace of respect 0260846539. 0260846539. We're also streaming live on Facebook, facebook.com/Pan-African Television. We have a number of platforms as well. So if you are on Facebook, you can check out Friends of Samuel Jemfi. You can check out Friends of Kwekubako. You can check out Friends of Kwesi Pratt. You can check out Friends of Samia Uku and all of that. We're streaming on those platforms as well, so you can equally watch the show there. Let me remind you again that we're here in the studios with Saka Salia, Benjamin Isia, and Malik Basintali. Let's come back home and discuss some domestic. Let's discuss some domestic issues here.
You had your time.
Let's discuss some domestic issues. Let's discuss some domestic issues here. Now. One of such very crucial topics that we have chosen for our conversation today has to do with what the president has opined. And I think that Basintali sought to, if you will, offshoot some level of his argument into his earlier submission. When he was discussing the Rwanda issue, because, this one says, we will not tolerate violence in election 2020. The President of the Republic of Ghana has been talking. Benjamin Isia, I think it will be fair, prudent, and proper to start with you, knowing where you stand and knowing your experiences so far relative to these two political parties and how they've conducted themselves in organizing or conducting elections in this country, or being actively involved in the electoral process, how they have conducted themselves. Some people say that Tuakra, you won't be Bukakrebi, you remember Tyne, you remember all these other places. And what similarly we saw here recently at Ayawaso West Wuogon by-election. So, I mean, if the president comes out to say that we will not tolerate violence in election 2020, it beats me, to be fair. And particularly also when Kojo Nkrumah was given an opportunity to explain to the good people of Ghana government commitment in ensuring that we're going to have a free and fair election. When she was being interviewed by Sewam here on GH1, you saw what happened. You know, he twisted that question and decided to set his own questions and answer it. And I thought that was a better opportunity for him to have explained to the good people of Ghana whether or not they were ready to ensure that we eschew, violence from our body politic, particularly in this particular elections. The white paper, the implementation of same, whatnot. Speak to it, sir.
Thank you very much, Kwame. I think violence has already started before the president's pronouncements on this particular topic, in the sense that the EC has started violence against the larger populace of the larger populace of Ghanaians. The EC has started what I call a democratic coup on the masses who want to contest in this particular election. So I think the advice should go to the EC herself, Madam Jen Mensah, who I think has brought out some filing fees that she's brought out to condemn interested members who wants to contest this particular election. That's pure violence against our democratic principles. I think the president must talk to her.
No, we're actually going to speak to that particular.
Speak to that. So but I want the president to also know that that's pure violence against our democratic principles, because if you set huge huge filing fees, which are more than the average worker's salary, per annum salary, then it means it's another form of violence. Every violence is violence, regardless of using arms or even using the psyche. So I think she must be addressed on this particular topic. And I know the president, who people say he is a listening president. I know the president will listen to us, and I know he's also watching Pan-African, will listen to us and then address this particular matter.
That's what the president, he watches Pan-African.
He watches, so
can attest to that.
He should address this matter immediately, because our democratic principles are in tatters. Right now, from this particular topic, you see, I always say that we must have principles, and these principles must be governed by some sense of morality, right, in making our pronouncements and judgments. We have a particular political party. Historically and in presence, they are known for violence. That particular party, we know, historically and in presence, they are known for violence. Their utterances and actions, we all know, are towards violence. Now, what do I mean by violence, as I mentioned? Kwame, we are all in this country, that we hear a particular president dividing one ethnic group against the other.
Who?
Right? Oh, we all heard that story we mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. The current president divided one particular ethnic group, we, this particular people, you know us, against the whole nation. I thought that CPP government believes in nation building and one nation, one people. But a particular president says that we, this particular people, against this particular people. And we must show them that, yes, we are. That was a foul statement. I thought a president who has morals telling us that we should eschew violence, or we should above violence, we will now come and beg the people of Ghana and tell them that I said this particular thing. I'm sorry. This president never apologized to the good people of Ghana. Rather, his compatriots or like his followers championed it. Yeah, he said it. Now from there, this president and another political party, which my fine brother Basintale belongs to, went to this Talansi. We saw the violence there, which then a PNC candidate which CPP supported would have won the election, but because of the violence, we could not. President, then opposition leader, never apologized, was there. Now from there, we come to Ayawaso. And the whole Ayawaso was a charade, pick and act. They picked it in the room and came and acted it on the floor of that particular election. We saw the arm, the slapping, right? The pushings. President never apologized. We only heard his party people, oh, we did it, yes. And they refer, in reference, and I think President is good at reference. You know when they were sacking John Domelovo, they referred, oh, even Prof. G.A. Mills, the same. So we are also doing. So President being good in reference, they referred, oh, when we went to Atiwa, the other party did this to us. So that's why we also did this to them. And now you, President, are advising us that this election is not about violence. Which issue is this President bringing on board? Their political commentators, including my Honorable Sakasalia, goes on media houses insulting Ghanaians day in and day out. The likes of that man who owns Netu, Kennedy Japan, insulting, abusive languages. I don't know whether violence is limited to only arms. Insulting everywhere, here and there. President has never come out to condemn this particular person. Has never come out to condemn the likes of Abronia who insult people on media. Now you, President, now comes to tell we, CPP, that CPP, we don't want violence in the election. What's your house, your home? There's too much violence from your political commentators or political apparatchiks. So when I listen to this, I listen to the President. He's a president of all. He's my excellency. But a president of his caliber, which we are supposed and we are told to believe that he's a man of his words, he's a man who believes in his words, he's a man who acts on his words. I think that he should apologize to the good people of Ghana and tell them that yes, there were certain utterances I said earlier, they were bad. And now being the president of the republic, I think I'm sorry, because 2020 election is about issues, and I've heard him many times. He spoke. I've heard many times where he spoke to his party members that, oh, this election is about issues, so we are going to campaign on issues. Whilst his communicators are there throwing the tantrums, just throwing, insulting people, abusing people, and even at an era that the whole judicial setup has been insulted, and we've not heard President say a word about it. Kennedy Japan says on his TV.
I don't want to get into that, respectfully.
Okay,
yeah, from there,
but insults the judiciary. The whole president never condemns it. So, Kwame, I will tell the CPP has always been and will always be a peace-loving party, because if you know historically until date, I was telling someone that when we had the Congress, right, which was decentralized, no Ghanaian heard about it. No Ghanaian heard about it because we didn't fight. And I visit media houses and people say, oh, see, people, when did you hold your Congress? I tell them, oh, we did. Did you watch Pan-African? Because Pan-African broadcasted live for every Ghanaian to watch, right? We had debates on Pan-African. Imagine we fought there. There are political parties who hold Congress in this country, MPP and NDC, they hold Congress, and they fight, and then we hear only the fighting. There are political parties who murder themselves in this country. Is it Adam Mahama was murdered in Upper East? And Adam Mahama belongs to this particular political party. We had a political party which like brings out a gun in public and shoots, and now says that I'm defending myself. President never condemned it.
Are you talking about
Howard Kumsin? President never condemned it. And then you come to tell us that this is a violent-free election, or we should champion a violent-free election. Whilst at your backyard, your people are just throwing violence to the good people of Ghana. So I think the present advice is a good call. But those who need this advice mostly are his party members. They need this advice than any other party, because CPP, as a peace-loving party, will not go into violence in this election, because we know we are winning. We know lawyer Ivor Greensit, when he brings his loving, developmental-oriented and progressive manifesto out, Ghanaians will buy into it and say, yes, we are going to vote for lawyer Ivor Greensit. So we are not going to campaign based on violence. We are not going to champion violence, but his own people are championing violence. Even before this election comes into effect, they are championing violence. We've seen the violence across the country. And another thing, you know, Kwame, after the Ayawaso, a whole charade, another pick and act. They acted it from the room. They picked it from the room and acted it outside. That we have something called vigilante law or vigilante bill was passed. As we're speaking, the vigilantism is still there. CPP has no vigilante party, but these two parties have vigilante groups, armed groups. They are not even vigilante because they are not fighting a good cause. They have armed groups in their party terrorizing people. And I don't want to link some of these armed groups to what is happening recently. The silent death, where police cannot trace those who even killed these people. I don't want to link, but there may be a correlation. That some of these silent deaths we've been hearing or seeing or reading on newspaper are caused by some of these vigilante people these two parties are parading across. Because when you train someone, a hungry person, when you train a hungry person to hold arms and you don't give this hungry person food or progressive development, he may end up killing people. And that's why some of these deaths, we cannot trace who killed them. So in my conclusion, Kwame, the president's call is a good call.
Okay.
But he should advise my brother Saka Sali and Co.
All right.
Not CPP.
All right,
because
thank
CPP
you.
is a peace-loving party.
Thank you, Benjamin. Yeah. Let me go for this quick mention. But I think it's instructive that these two political parties, the NDC and the NPP, tell us or show us what in their manifesto speaks to security, because security is very, very crucial for the enjoyment of the democracy that we've been experiencing for now, and for us to have a proper inclusive participation, if you will, of our political discourse. So we're going to get into all of that, because those issues about security finds expression in what has been put forth by the president of the land. Quick commercial break. Stay with us. Don't move, Marcel. It gets interesting after this.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Breakfast good day, every day. Every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Thank you very kindly for staying tuned into Pan-African Television. My name again is Kwame Owusu Danso. So like I opined before the break, we are now going to be hearing from the two leading political parties in Ghana, the NDC and the NPP, specifically about the issue of security, because it appears the president has been talking about the fact that we're not going to tolerate any violence, any form of it, in this upcoming elections. But who has the records when it comes to violence in elections? And what is the NPP saying about security? Because violence is a national security issue, particularly when it has to do with elections. Let me come to you, Basintale, because the first time I started with Saka. So, Basintale, let's hear from you. In your manifesto, and from all that I've stated, do you think that we have the wherewithal and if you will, the temerity to be able to deal with the issue of violence in election?
Thank you.
2020, yeah.
I think that I felt the frustration of my brother Ben when he was mentioning incidents of violence in this country, and how President Akufo-Addo had turned a blind eye to all those instances of violence. But I want him to know that we have a president who consistently says that he is not aware. A president who says that he doesn't see. A president who says that he doesn't hear. And whatever happens on the grounds, he virtually doesn't see or know what happens. In fact, things that have happened at the Flagstaff House, incidents where militias, vigilante groups set up by the MPP, Invisible Forces and Delta Forces, beat people, attack people, in fact, beat the whole police commander at the Flagstaff House. President Akufo-Addo said he wasn't aware. And so, in sharing with the frustrations of Ben, I just wanted him to know that this is a president who claims he is not aware. Let me start with the security portions of our manifesto. In fact, one of the first things the NDC will do is to investigate the perpetrators of the Ayawaso West Wagon violence. In fact, Kwame, if you followed that incident, I happen to have been on grounds. And sometimes when I listen to people speak about what happened at Ayawaso West Wagon, without a clear picture of what actually happened on grounds, I feel demoralized. I was there. I saw things. You wake up in the morning and by elections that have been conducted in this country from time B, you wake up and undisturbed. You find people storming the grounds in police vehicles, shooting unnecessarily, shooting into people's stores, attacking innocent Ghanaians, beating people to the extent that a whole member of parliament was beaten to pulp. In fact, I saw people's bones break into pieces. I saw them into pieces. The guy, that particular guy,
is the one in the hospital.
Is the one in the hospital. He's still at the hospital, and his bills are being paid for every single day. I saw it live, not that someone showed it to me. I saw people's heads bleeding, and then at the end of the day, our party took a decision that for the sake of innocent lives, our parliamentary candidate must withdraw from the election. Why? Because for the love of power, your people must perish. For the love of power, people must die. And that is the ideology of the MPP. And that was what happened there. And these people, a committee and a commission was set up to investigate whatever happened there. Kwame, at the end of the day, the white paper was indeed made white, because the rulings that were set out in the white paper were all cleared and left the paper purely white, because nothing, absolutely nothing, was done to these people. In fact, I listened to a lot of the people, and it was clear that there was an orchestration. This was a setup, and I heard Ben saying that yes, these things were set up in the room and executed on grounds. Indeed, that was what actually happened, because in the commission hearing, you realize that the people said what actually was planned and how it was executed on grounds. President Mahama says he will investigate that. It is in our manifesto. President Mahama says that we have about 35,000. Here's a document just to prove to you that we've done some key work in it. 35,020 vacancies currently in the Ghana Police Service. Are you aware that there are departments now that have been set out for litigation purposes, land purposes, to investigate such crimes? And that office is only situated in Accra. So if you have such a litigation issue in Kumasi, you would have to come to Accra and it will be dealt with. President Mahama says that these things will be dispersed. As a result of that, there are not less than 35,000 vacancies in the Ghana Police Service. Every district will be equipped with a police station. Every district will be equipped with a mini barracks where they will have military presence at that place. President Mahama also says, I mean, there are lots and lots and lots. And I can say some of these things, UN postings and whatever. These are things that President Mahama would enhance. A lot of people would go and learn, would come back. We would support our local security services. And you see, in terms of security, it is found here. This is our manifesto on page 116 of our manifesto. This is purely security. Okay. What will be done under our regime? And if time had permitted me, I would have read whatever was in our manifesto for you to know. But let me come to the issues. Okay. We were in this country again, and to talk about violence quite recently. A whole minister at a registration center pulled out a pistol, gave warning shots, attempted shooting innocent Ghanaians. A woman we pay with our taxes, a woman we contribute our taxes for her to be paid, used these same taxes in acquiring a gun and attempted shooting into us. What happened to it? The police commander who was investigating that issue, are you aware, Kwame, that police commander has been transferred?
Yeah, I know.
Has been transferred. Just because he started investigations into this matter. What did President Akufo-Addo say about it? We were in this country again. In the recent Banda case, in the registration exercises, a whole Tundra pickup was loaded with full AK-47s, numbering not less than 70. It was intercepted by the security forces at Banda. You remember the issue. In fact, the regional minister and parliamentary candidate, okay, of Banda's junior brother was the owner of that vehicle, MPP. He was arrested. What happened? Within 30 minutes, the pickup was set free. Then they went and jubilated. And in the recording, I remember recently our General Secretary, Mr. Asedun Ketia, had a press conference where he played the recording of the regional minister, a whole regional minister, saying that they had the police service in their hands, they had the electoral commission in their hands, and they had entire government machinery, including their own invisible forces in their hands. And so they had nothing to worry about. In fact, he said they had including the judiciary in their hands, and that anybody who stands trial, okay, would be set free. What happened? A day after that pickup was freed, a young man, an innocent Ghanaian, a young teacher trainee who was returning, okay, from visiting his pastor in Sunyani, was killed, was murdered by these same people that had been left on the authority. They started beating the judge until the police pushed the judge. I mean, these are things that are on record. If time had permitted me, I would have sent the videos to you. Then, what happened? These people were set free, were allowed to go scot-free. So you see, Kwame, if President Akufo-Addo comes to say that, look, let us eschew violence in this upcoming election, I only sit down and I remember how before even the 2012 election, this is a man, President Akufo-Addo, who is on record internationally. You go on BBC, you go on CNN and what have you, and you type all die be die, and his picture shows clearly declaring all die be die. This is a man whose party, you had ministers saying that if they did not win the 2016 election, Ghana will be like Afghanistan. People like Anthony Kabu. This is a party, okay, where you had people, Kennedy Japan, let me be very precise on this, sitting on TV and saying that somebody should be killed. And within 5 days, that person is killed.
Did he say somebody should be killed?
He said that in what Ahmed Swale was doing, if it were to be another country, by now they would have, and that anybody who meets Ahmed Swale, okay, should beat him.
But he didn't.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah, but he didn't call for anybody to go and kill.
What is the meaning of? That is the meaning.
Silence.
So if I say, okay,
silence.
If I say that this fowl should be, and within 5 hours the fowl is killed, who was the interpretation? I mean, it is clear. These are things. If I say something should be, and indeed that thing was, and the person was killed.
I like your crap.
I mean, it is clear. Nothing happened to it. Till today, the Nyantechi issue, are you aware that he was supposed to be the chief witness in the matter? Because of his demise, that issue has been left to rot. And President Akufo-Addo talks about...
But these are not election-related violence.
I'm just talking about insecurity.
Okay.
I'm just speaking broadly about the insecurity in this country. Then, a whole registration exercise, I spoke about that, where guns were left to go scot-free. I spoke about the registration exercise again, where a minister pulled a gun and gave warning shots and attempted shooting into the people. I have spoken about all these things. In my region, for example, Daboya, Damango, militias, vigilantes were brought in there to terrorize people. We spoke about this continuously on media portals. Look, Kwame, what usually sparks this violence? Acts of rigging. I mean, in an election where everything will be transparent and free and fair, I don't think you get such violence, I mean, erupting there. In their own parliamentary primaries, for the first time, an aspirant who was contesting the election was beaten and hospitalized before the election.
Who is that?
I mean, one of the aspirants in the Ashanti regions also. His nose was bleeding it just on the election grounds. He was hospitalized. Yes, I'll check his name and give
I think he's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer. He was hospitalized. We have not seen that in any election before, except in the MPP. In the election, an incumbent member of parliament, Achema Boaje, his head was being tossed left, right, center. And in fact, he was asked to leave the site and go home.
Ochim.
Boaje. Mr. Boaje.
That's ABS.
Absolutely. He was asked to leave the site and go home because they were going to beat him. He went home and started doing phone calls, speaking on radio stations while they were doing whatever they wanted to do on the grounds. So you see, all I'm saying is that, you see, Kwame, some of these instances, we may speak about them from different political views. But in the end,
Okay.
It rolls back to the political party. You remember that before 2016 election, the MPP beat and attacked, destroyed their whole general secretary's vehicle, and destroyed his office. Japan. In fact, chased Afoko out of their office. We cautioned them and told them that the people you were nurturing were going to turn against your party. When they assumed office, these same invisible forces started attacking people in their party. Another time, President Mahama says that that militia group, that Manasseh Azuri, did an extensive investigation on, for which they started threatening his life and he had to flee the country, would be investigated. And all those people brought to book. So anybody, and this is a caution to anybody listening, who will allow himself to be used by the MPP in this upcoming election, I tell you that when President Mahama assumes office on the 7th of January 2021, you will stand trial, you will be prosecuted and dealt with within the rigors of the law. We cannot continue to condone these acts. We cannot continue to allow President Akufo-Addo and the MPP implement their long-served all-die-be-die policy. We cannot continue to allow the MPP roll this country into an Afghanistan nature like they said before the 2016 election.
All right.
Some of these things will be curtailed when we assume office in 2021.
Raymond Abiwu on Facebook says, when a monkey is destined to fall, all the trees in the forest becomes slippery. As the Lord lifts, Akufo-Addo will be voted out come December. This man is the most dangerous president Ghana has ever had. And you sent this one to us on Facebook. Let me see if I have other messages on Facebook as well, and then we can move to Sakasalia. This one says, Benedict Jireke, our Lord will deliver Ghana from the hands of the wicked, you say. Ibrahim Washara says, KOD, Ghana politics has become something else. If everyone in Ghana wants peace, we should talk to the so-called politicians of today. That talking trash, cruelty to the other minority will be eventually described as or turn to violence and crime, as some politicians take the laws into their own hands. Mariama Mahama is responding to Louis and says, Louis GH, very intelligent like Sami, next to Sami NDC, have brilliant boys. Kid, what's the meaning of politics? What is the meaning of nepotism? Is anyone above the law? What is the punishment for someone who insults the High Court judge or Supreme Court justice? So these are a few of the messages that have come through to us on Facebook. I will try and read as many as I can as and when they come in. Saka, let's hear from you.
Yeah, Kwame, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
First of all, let me demonstrate for you to understand this whole issue of violence in our body politics.
All right.
There's one president who have taken steps to ensure that never again should we have violence in our body politics, and that is Nana Donko Akufo-Addo. We are all aware of the past where our body politics was all about violence. Indeed, the NDC, led by John Dramani Mahama, has said severally that when it comes to violence, no political party can match the NDC. They have demonstrated it in various by-elections, Atiwa, Telensi, Triponi, Akwetia, and all that. And he even went ahead to say that they emanated from a violent regime. So in their DNA, there exists violence in the NDC. And he as a leader has epitomized it. And sometimes sheepishly looking on when wrong is being commissioned. We have seen it. Indeed, the recent primaries, we've seen what happened to a young man in Tema, who in their NDC primaries. He was nearly lynched. We saw what happened in Ejura. We saw what happened in Nantom. The NDC primaries was riddled.
Yeah.
I mean, they nearly killed one of their own. Yeah, it's you go to check it.
Oh, Ejura.
Check it. Yes.
The NDC
Ejura?
parliamentary candidate.
Yes.
The recent, they just
Yes.
I think I remember something like
Yes.
that. In Ejura. Yeah, I do.
Go to Nantom. Indeed.
As for Nanto, I don't remember Nanto, but I know about Ejura.
There are many. Indeed. You see, Ankerman.
No, I think, was it Collins Elder was pepper sprayed.
No, you see, Oh, please.
Yeah.
When you were talking, I kept
But Collins, that was pepper.
when you were spewing out all those things, I was here. I didn't talk. I didn't talk. In Kumasi, what happened?
I'm surprised.
In Kumasi, their hawks actually killed.
Hey,
Yes,
kill who?
they killed one of their own when they had gone there to do meetings with them. I mean, this is not secret. This is not secret. They killed one of their own. And indeed, you see, if you look at Iowa West Wagon by election and then the violence that ensued, what happened? We all knew that Iowa West Wagon has never been won by the NDC before. It's a stronghold of the NPP.
It's not true.
It's not true.
Oh, please.
It's not true. NDC has won
Check your
before.
records.
Let me tell you.
It's not
Technically, NDC has never won that seat.
It's not true.
Oh, but because, yeah, they have never won it. Because, and you see, I chose my way. I know what I'm talking about.
No, wait. What do you mean by technical?
Listen.
What do you mean by technical?
Listen. The only time NDC won. Oh, please, don't do this. If you do this, yeah. So stop the childish behavior. I am saying.
Master.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
But you
see, Kwame, do you know the reason why?
When he was talking, you interjected. He didn't use Saka.
I never interjected.
Saka, don't do it. No, when he was talking
Even
about
if
Rwanda,
you
you
interject
interjected
once, don't repeat it.
Yeah, but the man said it's okay.
And
Move
continue
on.
to repeat.
But the man said it's okay. Move on, and then you said childish.
So I mean, it is.
No, but you don't use
It
those
is.
words here. You don't do
It
that.
is.
You
So
don't
just keep
do
quiet.
that.
You see,
Proceed.
I wanted him to give me the opportunity to talk without interjection. That is the reason why when he was talking, I kept quiet.
You interjected.
You understand? So when I'm talking, he should also keep quiet.
You said what? Ayawaso.
So I'm saying, if you look at Ayawaso, West Wagon, the only time MPP, NDC won was when the MPP never contested. Listen. But when the MPP contested and the NDC won, it was overturned by the court, and Amu had to come in as a legitimate MP. So anytime MPP contests with the NDC has never won the elections before. Indeed, it has been a stronghold of the MPP. Therefore, it will not be in the interest of MPP to go causing mayhem in such stronghold. Because it will be in the interest of the opposition or the person who knows that he's going to lose that election to cause mayhem.
But second, that by-election was described as a test case for the MPP, particularly because.
Oh, who described it so?
No, come on.
Who described it as a test case?
Many portals.
Who described it as a test case?
For
You
the
listen.
MPP. You remember? So you needed to win that election just to prove a point. So
Kwame.
It was I think I even Abonye said that it was a test case.
Kwame, listen. Even before the elections, the NDC had made it impossible for the by-election to even come on.
Okay, how so?
By their utterances and by their vilification of the Electoral Commission and by asking of questions that even any ordinary person should not even have asked. For instance, the NDC was on record to have been saying that the Electoral Commission want to rig the elections for the MPP. And even the eve of the election, the NDC have served notice that they were not going to even contest the elections. In some radio stations, the NDC were reported. There were reports that the NDC was going to boycott that election because to them the Electoral Commission was working against them, and they had even asked for the register, and the Electoral Commission had to do a press release to debunk all those blue meta screaming that the NDC was doing. And to some of us, it came as no surprise that the morning of the by-election, the NDC started creating a scenario of a violent eruption. Even when an agreement was made that nobody should come there with a motorbike, some judge had invaded the place with motorbikes.
Where? Invaded where?
The constituency.
Which Ayawaso West?
Ayawaso West constituency with motorbikes.
Are you sure?
And indeed, it was based on intelligence that the national security had to go there to ensure the rights.
But those people were not national security, Saka.
Oh, please.
We
had the commission report is there.
No.
Oh, please. Oh,
They themselves said they were
what are you talking about? Who among them is not a national security operative?
Who amongst them is a national security
No,
operative?
I mean, why? You see, Kwame, your reputation is on the line.
No, I'm asking you a question.
We all saw the also was going on.
Those people that they train for 3 days
Listen,
are national security.
you don't know?
Those people they train for 3 days
You don't know?
and then gave them police.
You don't know? You don't know their national security?
Massa.
Or you know better than Mensah Thompson?
No.
You know better than
But what
them. Did they pronounce that there was somebody there who had appeared there as national security and who eventually was not?
Why was Double and the others asked
To do what?
to be taken out of where they are now? Because
When you say taking out, what
they
does
were
that
not
mean?
properly qualified to.
No, that was not the recommendation.
What was the recommendation?
You see?
What was
You
the
see, people
recommendation?
don't even read, and then you
It's-
want to
it's about
interpret
people.
issues.
What
You see,
was the
listen,
recommendation?
What was the recommendation? Is that they should be transferred.
To where?
And what
Transferred
government?
to where?
Oh, listen.
No, I'm not listening.
Oh, it should be transferred from where they are
To where?
to anywhere. You can transfer the president to
Don't
to anywhere.
come and be banding things about what you do.
You understand?
Listen,
You see-
election.
Oh, listen.
that's not how they get
Listen. So they were not asked to be removed. To be transferred is different from to be removed. And indeed, what did government do? Government actually referred Azuga and Co. to the IGP so that the IGP would now do the transfer. So I mean, why people bandit things around and create the impression that there is a particular government that is violent and they are not, when indeed we have taken steps. Look at the Act 999, the Vigilantism and Related Offences Act. Under John Dramani Mahama and his NDC, they should tell us what move have they ever made to ensure that we never had a violent eruption in our body politics before. Never. Even when the president actually constituted actually advised that the MPP and the NDC should sit down with the peace council and ensure that we deliberate, because most often it's always the MPP and the NDC that normally do those things, because they are the two political parties that are likely to win the elections, and that is the reason why it's always the case. So when the MPP asks, when Nanado asks the NDC,
hold on, you're talking about recommendations. There are individual liabilities. There are individual liabilities as part of the report that were given by the commission.
Yes.
Now listen to this. This is 3.1. The commission recommends the criminal prosecution of Mr. Ernest Akumia, alias Double, for the unauthorized possession of firearms under section 1921 of the Criminal Offences Act. If he was a national security operative, if he was mandated to be there, why would that recommendation come for him to be criminally prosecuted for holding firearms when he was unauthorized to do so?
So okay, you have asked a question. So listen to the answer.
Give me the answer.
So are you saying that you cannot prosecute a legitimate officer doing his legitimate work unlawfully? Listen, you remember? Listen, you listen. Do you know that in 2001 stadium disaster, some policemen were prosecuted, criminal prosecuted? Are you aware? For the disaster, for their acts that they committed in the disaster.
Do you know what?
No, I'm asking you because you are saying no. You see, your inference. Oh, listen, Kwame.
Kwame,
don't obfuscate the issues.
I'm not obfuscating anything.
Then listen. Are you saying, because it's your own deduction?
I am not deducing anything.
You are deducing that.
You are the one who asked me about the recommendation.
You are deducing that because he has been recommended to be prosecuted.
Yes.
It means that he was not a proper national security operative. Is that your deduction?
Amongst all the other people who were there present, because the recommendation.
No, he is the leader.
He was the leader.
He was the leader, and then you see the subordinate take.
He was not even. Listen.
He
He was not even. No, Double himself was not actively involved in the act. He wasn't.
So he was.
In fact, he was even the one who took some George.
So what is
away from?
So what is his crime? Please. What is his crime?
But what have I told you? What have I read out to you?
So what is the crime?
What have I read out to you?
No, let the listeners understand.
I am telling you that the commission recommends or recommended at the time that the criminal prosecution of Double for the unauthorized possession of firearms, unauthorized possession of firearms under section 1921 of the Criminal Offences Act. Unauthorized possession of firearms. So that's simplicity.
So listen to me.
Yes.
This is the recommendation of the commission. And government have also the right to come up with white paper. This is not the first time a white paper has been issued. When the Brazil 2014, what's the name of the Zamaquin Commission, NDC came out with white paper. Indeed, in 1985, when there was a commission to investigate some wrongdoings, NDC came out with white paper. White paper is not unlawful. It's just disagreement. For instance, if you say that some judge should be compensated, and in the same report, it's been admitted that some judge provoked the national security operatives into taking that action that they took. What sense will it be to say that, okay, this person was prosecuted into taking action, but the action that he took should lead to compensation? Government says that no. I mean, this could be it's a matter of provocation, and therefore there is no sense in saying that there should be compensation.
Was double prosecuted? Because leadership, by example, was double prosecuted.
I can tell you here, but I'm saying that there's a white paper against that.
Has the SWAT team that allegedly belongs to the national?
So that is you cannot say.
We are getting closer to an election. With the greatest respect to you, Saka, and I like the
analysis. They were talking. I mean, I was not seeing this
because you are in power, right? You are in power.
So I should be interjecting.
It's not about being interjected.
Listeners should not even understand the point of view of government.
It's about,
is that what you're saying?
No, it's about getting some level of assurance.
Okay, so
with the greatest respect to you, Saka,
so you ask the question.
And I just want us to deliberate on these matters from the bottom of our heart.
No problem.
And with our conscience packed behind our thoughts, right?
Yes.
And I'm saying that we're talking about the Ayawaso West Wuogon election, by-election,
yes.
and you sought to explain to us that the NDC knew they were not going to win, and so they came there with a rigid.
Do you remember? You see, even some judge, the kind of things that he was saying there and creating the impression that Armageddon was at hand, and was saying that you kill somebody in his own house for nothing.
Yeah.
Did somebody died? Indeed,
people
on that day.
People were shot.
On that day.
People were shot.
On that day, I was at Class FM.
Somebody's.
Listen. I was at Class FM with the Ayawaso West Wuogon.
Are you justifying? No, wait.
No, you see, they were lying. So that's the point.
So that somebody was
said that he was being shot and he was dodging the bullets here and there.
Saka.
He put all those things on Facebook.
Wow.
And they were lying through their teeth. Saka. Indeed, their chairman went and
my reporters were there.
I am saying
my reporters were there. People were shot. A certain woman gave a certain woman gave us an account of how she was lucky if she had been in her hairdressing salon. A vivid account that she was damn lucky.
I am not saying that.
So are you
there
what
was
happened?
no even modicum of violence there.
Absolutely.
That is not what I'm saying.
So now you're making progress.
But I'm saying that the pronouncement of the NDC.
Yes.
To the extent that they even went and had a press conference with their chairman reading the press conference at their headquarters, and they said that people are dead. Some judge said people died. You kill somebody in his own house, and you see this was publicized, and you put it on Facebook and say that you yourself were being shot at, and there was a barrage of bullets that were thrown at you, and you were dodging them and all that. So I'm saying that, you see, they wanted to create a scenario of, violent hysteria for people to now come to the conclusion that if the NDC withdraw from the elections, then they were right. But I'm saying that all those things that you heard, 90% was false. And you come based on this falsehood to say that we should implement some of the recommendations that the commission asked for.
Okay.
So, any president worth his salt, like what Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo did, or even saying, he is in charge of this government. At the time that he even made the Yakamfo and all that, we all know that he was not even in government. He was an opposition leader. But even that one, the interpretation as the NDC and their cohorts, is putting is putting on that statement is completely, you know,
all right,
out of place.
But let me ask you.
I am saying,
yeah.
Between the NPP and the NDC themselves have come to that conclusion. They have given the verdict.
So you guys are committed.
They are the most violent political party in our history.
Okay.
And that's
NPP, by words or by action?
By deed.
Okay.
They have shown it.
Okay.
Your mama said it. I'm not the one saying it. Unless you want to say that your mama, you know, was lying.
I mean, Saka
he said it.
One wouldn't be far from correct if the person makes a point to the effect that we have never in the history of our politics had policemen in hoods, you know, masks.
What you don't
and
know,
things like that.
What you don't know, we have had all those things before.
Masks.
Yeah.
Masks.
We have. You see, do you know Boatinjang?
Boatinjang. I know. Yeah,
the NDC former organizer.
Yeah. What did he do? What did he do?
He himself,
right,
in a live phone
call,
said that he used to have his own police. When it comes to elections.
No, but I think that's not different because MPP also
when it comes to elections,
MPP also has their own police.
He will take NDC hoodlums and dress them with police uniform.
All right, thank you.
He himself said it.
All right,
and
thank you.
The tip is there for everybody to listen to.
Thank you very much. So EC fixes October 5th to 9th for filing nominations. That's the Daily Graphic newspaper. Let's see if we can dispatch that quickly and then discuss Professor Nana Jenopo-Kwadjiman, who is a game changer. I think I've seen a few. Yeah, let's just merge them. I think she's doing some wonderful jobs in the central region. I know she visited the homes of the 4 tardy kidnapped girls, and even though there were no emphatic statements made in a very flamboyant, flowery manner, she assured them that she is still commiserating with them, and as a mother, she listened with her heart, not her ears. So hopefully we'll bring some finality to that matter, hopefully. But I do know also that the government has tried to address this particular issue. So let's merge the two. EC fixes October 5th to 9th for filing them. I think I
so when I will add this when I'll conclude it nicely.
I'll give you your time. But before then, let's go for this quick commercial break. Stay with us. We're still here on Pan-African Television with the news preview segment. So after the commercial break, we're discussing 2 very crucial issues. One, Nana Jen is a game changer, says Nanan Ketia, and EC fixing October 5th to 9th for filing nominations. But the EC says, guys, don't come to my office. Go online and go and download the thing. Stay with us. We shall return shortly.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Breakfast good day, every day. Every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Welcome back. We're still here in the studios of Pan-African Television in Abelenkpe, 24 Swanika Street here in Accra. And it's getting very exciting and very revealing here on the morning show. I'm having a lot of fun here. Saka Salia today is not budging at all. He's ready to defend his party to the hilt, and he's doing exactly that. and as well as Basintale, who's also trying to bulldoze his way through. Basaka has been a bigger bottleneck, or if you will, a stumbling block. And Benjamin Isia also giving the two parties uppercuts here on the show. It's, you know, you can only get it on Pan-African television. Let me start with you, with the grace of respect, Basintale, on the next two topics. EC fixes. Did I start with you on the last one?
Yeah,
okay, so let me start with you, Saka Salia. EC fixes October 5th to 9th for filing nominations, and Nana Jane is a game changer. Saka, please.
Yeah,
and you want to conclude?
In concluding on my
your previous submission.
Oh yeah, previous submission.
Yes, sir. Oh, by the way, let me say a very special, hearty good morning to Hajia Hamdatu Ibrahim, former national chairperson of the CPP. Hajia is doing the watching. Hajia, we love you, we miss you, and we will reach out to you after the morning. So Saka says hi to you as well, and Basintale also says hi. Good morning to you, ma'am. Please.
Yeah. So Kwame, in conclusion on the security matter,
okay,
the MPP, by our deeds, not just words, have shown that we are very security conscious. If you look at the Alpha project, where we are installing CCTV cameras in all the police stations, is going on. If you look at the enrollment of the police, we have more than double it. If you look at even the incentives that we give to the police, the vehicles, and then the accoutrements that we brought, never in the history of this country has any government done so. Even the morale, including what we intend doing to the regeneration of the barracks, by ensuring that we give them a befitting accommodation to make sure that their morale is boosted. And if you look at even their budgetary allocations and all that, we have ensured that we've given them on time, they get it on time. And for me, the military, and including all the other security agencies, including the Ghana Fire Service, all of them have had their fair share of government works, and therefore, in terms of security, we are in better state to ensure that this nation moves forward. And that is the reason why nobody can even say that in terms of even armed robbery, in terms of the insecurity, there is no any nation that will say that you are 100% secured. But at least we are doing the best as we can, and our best is better than what we met it. But it doesn't mean that it is good enough for us to now go and relax. So between the two major political parties, in terms of security, you were talking about that we went and then killed our chairman. It's not true.
Okay, Saka, let's proceed from there.
There have not been
any
court pronouncements
on
even those who have. But even that one, it happened under the NDC government.
Okay, let's proceed.
You understand? So if there were good security, including even, you remember even their own DCE, Nkonta North or South, I can't remember, but one of the Nkonta district actually was killed in cold blood. And a sitting member of parliament was killed under the NDC. So, in terms of security, the NDC should not even come near us as to what we have done or what we have not done.
Please proceed from there.
Somebody said that Nana Jane is a game changer. Okay, first of all, let me end with that one. But the Electoral Commission has given a date. I think that is okay. They have given about 100,000 Ghana for political parties to register, and 10,000 for parliamentary. I think the parliamentary one, there has not been changes. It's the same 10,000 that was paid the last time round. The 100,000, I think that anybody that want to aspire to become president, one would see the 100,000, in some respect, to be a huge amount. But when it comes to political party, I don't think that it is so huge an amount for people to cry. Even though one or two political parties that just want to go into the elections for the sake of it will be crying, because any political party that actually believe that you can win the elections. When I was coming, I was listening to Ekwedonko on Atenka FM, and I listened to Goom. All of them, I mean, they both said that it's okay. I mean, they will be able to pay, because it's not about one person. It's about group. It's about thousands. That is the reason why, if you follow the rules of the Electoral Commission, you will say 100,000 is huge enough. Because one, you should have presence in all the districts of this country. If you have presence in all the districts of this country, let's even take it, every district is able to even give you 10,000. Even not to talk about even individuals. All the political parties have membership. Let your members pay tokens. In the end, you get the amount that you see. But to say that 100,000 is so huge an amount and that they should bring it down, and if not that, it means that they are not willing for other political parties to be in there. If they open the floodgate by saying that it's even zero, you know the number of people that will go and contest. Kwame, you will go and contest as president. If they say you can go and register without even money, all manner of jokers will go into the fray and then want to contest. And then they will muddy the waters and even dissipate the appeal of the presidency and all that. So there should be some appeal. And that appeal comes with at least some monetary consideration. Nana Jin Opokuwa Jiman. Somebody say she's a game changer. I don't know what that means. I haven't seen any palpable achievements of hers. Even though in academia she has achieved a lot as a former, vice chancellor of the University of Cape Coast. That one, yes, that one I think that she has achieved. But you see, there's clear difference between academic achievement. If that were to be the case, there are so many professors all over across the country. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of professors, if not millions of professors. So if being a professor means you can govern and govern well, I mean, we will parade the buses to University of Ghana and then load the professors and bring them to the Flagstaff House to come and govern. So for me, I don't even see it. If it's about women or a woman, representing at the highest level, Ekwedankwa is going for president. All right. Not vice. We have even the PPP. Dogbenu.
Is it Dogbenu or something? PPP.
What's the name? The former Miss Ghana. She's going for the apex. The presidency itself. And this is not even the first time. The CPP have always, given us deputy, a vice woman president. We have seen the PPP in the past.
Even the NDP.
Yes. So I don't know what game changer here means.
All right.
And we have seen her too, in terms of what she can do in government. We have seen her when she was with the Minister of Education. We've seen under her watch all the things that happened. That even chalk could not be gotten.
Yeah.
So if somebody could not get chalk, for schools, can be described as game changer. I don't know what they are talking about. We have seen under her watch. You see, that even as a university professor, she superintended over a policy where university research allowance was taken away from them.
All right.
We've seen a situation where after employing teachers for 3 years, only 3 months is paid.
All right.
We've seen a situation where a woman was threatened of rape by Muntia 3, and she was the one that got them to go on by going to sign for a petition to free them.
All right.
So these are people, these are contradictions.
All right.
And she eventually found herself in the wrong party.
Thank you very, very much, Saka Salia. Let me extend a voice of greetings to my brother Albino, my mate from senior high school, Achim Asafo St. Paul's Community Secondary School. In Achim Asafo. You're watching us this morning. A special good morning to you. Why are you laughing at my school? Master, I'm not lying at him. Benjamin, why?
No, because they believe that he's a Sakawa man.
Who, me?
No, they
believe that.
Their party believe once you mention Achim,
your friend is a Sakawa boy. No. That's their belief. Why? I attended Achim. Listen to my school. The name of my school, Achim Asafo St. Paul's Community Secondary School.
That's solid. I'm surprised Saka will
see. My school is the best school in Ghana.
Yeah, in your estimation.
No, it's a reality. Go and check.
Okay,
I'll check.
Come in.
More control exams are they favor you people.
I'll check.
We learn that we'll get right.
I'm surprised Saka would want to say that once you mention Achim, then it's a Sakawa. I mean, why? Is it every Achim that's involved in the Japa corrupt scandal? Is it every Achim that is involved in the Japa corrupt deal? Is it every Achim? Is it every Achim that's been appointed by President Akufo-Addo? No. When President Akufo-Addo was thinking of appointing his daughter into the creative arts, senior minister's children, and what have you, did he appoint all Achims into it? No. Is it not the fact that our manifesto committee chairman is an Achim? Yes. And so why that analogy that every Achim is this? He is not the one who drafted this. It's not part of the Sakawa cabal because it's not part of that Ejapa corrupt, scandalous deal. And so spare us that pedestrian comment. I mean, I'm surprised that Saka, in just touching on that security issue, will quickly say that once some judge said that you want to kill a man in his own house, it means that people. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. You see,
no, Saka,
he's quoting me.
No, he's quoting you, but making references to what was stated by his party member. I think he will be in a better position, you see, to describe what was said by his party member than you.
So kill the man. I'm surprised that in doing same, he says a childish behavior, but an old man like him will still be sitting here interjecting. I mean, if you know you are an old man, let's stop the interjections. Let's move on. But then, if Sam George says that, is it not a fact that these so-called these hoodlums, these criminals, hooligans, went to our candidate's house and started shooting into the air? Is it not a fact that they gave warning shots and shot at people? Is it not a fact that a woman, but for her leaving her hairdressing shop, would have been dead by now? Is it not a fact? And so you find it a laughing matter, and you sit on panel and think that let us just do politics with people's lives and what have you. This is a very critical issue. And when we are discussing it, please, let's discuss it with some level of sentiment. You quickly jump and say a member of parliament was killed. Why? Is it not a fact that the man standing prosecution, Sexy Dondon, has mentioned people in your government, in MPP government, and said categorically those who were behind? Is it not a fact that JB Danquest's wife has been sharing posts upon posts stating emphatically that it was you people from your party, the MPP, that caused his murder and what have you? Is it not a fact that this woman has?
You see, with all respect to you, the matter is in court.
It's in court. So let's.
So
I was surprised that he was touching.
But he didn't go into the merits of the matter. He can comment on it, but cannot necessarily go into the merits of the matter.
I just wanted to create a case so that he understands that.
So, but please, let's not get into
we should not be thinking of. So please, let's put that aside. Now, in this filing fee, he said that in reducing the cost to 1 CD or what have you, you get all sorts of jokers.
Yeah, he even mentioned me.
He even mentioned you are surprised. I want to fight.
No problem.
I want to reply that. He said even you will go and contest. You know what that means? Sanga says even you. Sanga, that is an insult. Sanga, but I have insulted. It's just the area. He has insulted virtually everybody on this panel. It's okay. I'm not surprised. He says that jokers can go and then contest. Who told you that jokers in this country cannot raise 100,000? Who told you?
Well, that's true.
Who told you that jokers?
The front boys can
raise 100,000, and he can contest. Wow. So I mean, some of these things. Let us put that aside, and sometimes let's not attribute it to the fact that somebody should raise 1 CD and he can contest, and people can raise. I beg your pardon. Now in 2016, you had your time. In 2016, this is what the MPP said, and it is here. It is here. In 2016, read it. He said he sees 50,000
filing fee too much.
Which party?
NPP.
Today, how much is the filing fee?
100,000.
It is what? Super cheap. And that should tell you the level of chop. Anytime we tell you that the MPP has accumulated huge sums of money, billions of dollars down, at the detriment of the Ghanaian people, subjected us to excruciating poverty, hardships in this country, tormentation. We cannot buy fuel again. We cannot buy basic amenities. Spare parts on a gruesome rise. I mean, clothing, everything in this country is at a humongous rise. Today, the MPP that saw 50,000 before 2016 as too high that they could not buy. Today, is finding it cheap. And Saka says that it's okay. It's fine. It's cool. They can. I beg your pardon. You talk. Saka says that it's cool. You can just go and buy. That is the party. And so the Ghanaian people are watching. I believe that today, if people put their hands in their pockets, and Saka sits here to say that he can raise 100,000 even for his party to buy this filing fee, you should know the level of money they have accumulated.
But and they are enjoying. Saka can bring 20,000.
He can raise 100,000. He said it.
Yeah.
Now in Professor
Nanajin,
I said he can raise 100,000. He said it.
But Saka,
he can raise 100,000.
You said you give
Professor Nanajin. He said you give her 100,000. Professor Nanajin store. Why? She's a woman. Is it not a fact that she's a running mate to a major political party in this country? Is it not a fact that she has a very good record of supplying not less than 1 million exercise books to students, supplying free uniforms, supplying free sandals, starting e-blocks that today we see everywhere? Is it not a fact that in 2014 she recorded the best WASI and BC results in this country?
Yes.
Are these not tangible records that people must see? Why? Saka sought to say that she cancelled book and research allowance. Thankfully, you media persons have introduced what we call the fact checker, where you just check. This is it. You can read it. Fact check. Former education minister did not cancel book and research allowance.
This is by
Ghana
Web. Ghana Web. Yeah.
Ghana Web.
So who said it?
Fact checker.
It's somebody.
It is fact checker.
Say
You don't
it.
understand fact
This is not fact check.
checker. It is what media men you do. When they say something, you go and then you check it. It has been checked. So please, don't repeat this on any platform. It's like,
Otherwise, wrong. If you are not paying the people, is it not cancellation?
Kwame,
Go
can
on,
you
go on.
control your
Go on.
panelists?
Saga,
I beg you.
please.
Is it not a fact that these fact checkers have been done and that issue have been brought to finality? Is it not a fact that we expanded our training colleges, recruited more people, we expanded and built a lot of tertiary institutions, built new universities in this country, built new senior high schools? You have sat here. Tell me a single senior high school that you have built. Tell me a single new university that you MPP have built. But this woman managed to do all these things. And today she's running mate, she's vice presidential candidate for a major political party. And Mensah Thompson comes to say that a woman cannot be president in Ghana.
When did
He said it live. He said, Professor Nawaane, she cannot be president. A woman cannot be president. I'll read it for you. Don't worry. You find people like Wuntumi even saying that our running mate. I don't want to repeat some of those harsh words here. He said she resembles a witch.
Oh, how?
I will read them to you. Don't worry. You know I won't say this out of speculation. I didn't hear it. Wuntumi saying that our running mate even looks like a witch. Oh, how? I will show it to you. You find people.
No, I'm not
I will show it to you. Don't worry. You find people.
Maybe I don't know how witches look.
I have not been brought to insult people. I have been brought to restore dignity and integrity to the office of the vice president. Why? This woman has been campaigning since, has never mentioned President Akufo-Addo's name, not once. And I challenge anybody on this platform. She has never. She goes to the people and she tells them, look, when I come, I'll extend free maternity to one more month. When I come, you women will get, you mothers in the market, organized associations will get pension benefits. When I come, I will ensure that the educational facilities in this country will be completed and the abandoned projects all completed. When I come, we'll ensure that the double track, since I've been an education minister, will put a hole to it and then everybody will go to school at once. Why? When I come, the free SHS will be enhanced and everybody will enjoy it. Why? When I come, fraudulent policies that were introduced in banning importation of salvage vehicles and what have you will all be banished and you people will get it. Why? This woman has said that when I come, I would ensure that our young boys who have started this Okada business and what have you will be legalized for you people to enjoy it. Why? When I come, there will be free import duties for people who are importing commercial vehicles and what have you. This woman goes round and tells the Ghanaian people what we want to do for them. Ask him in their manifesto to tell us the message of the MPP. Up to now, the only message they have today is that when President Mahama promises, they run ahead and say they are doing stakeholder consultation. Why? President Mahama says he will include private schools in his next coming into free SHS. Quickly, they rushed and held a stakeholder dialogue with CHOPS, the heads of private institutions. Why? President Mahama says that I will legalize Okada. Quickly, they said they are having a stakeholder consultation of it. I have heard people say that President Mahama should promise free brand price in this country so that Akufo-Addo can rush and they implement such policy. So it is embarrassing that you find the MPP government today with no message but insulting the integrity. Why? He sat here and when a queen mother said that a king said Professor Nana Jane is a game changer, a queen mother says that she will be our first female VIP. Why? President Nana Jane said that she is not coming purposely to even become the first female VIP in this country. She is coming to hold the door for your mother, my mother, our sisters, our unborn daughters to also see the light of the day. Why? President Mahama appointed the first female chief justice in this country, first female speaker of parliament, first female EC boss in this country. And we have seen all these people enjoying lucrative positions. We have seen females enjoying lucrative positions in this country. And you find the MPP jittering. And anytime you mention female leadership in this country, female equality and equity in this country, they seek to challenge it and seek to bastardize it and let it look as if it is not feasible that women should also take up leadership positions. So please, all we are saying is that Professor Nana James on her campaign. She's telling the people what she seeks to do for the people of this country. I will not be perturbed with these interruptions. You said it was childish. Now an old man like you is interrupting. I mean, who now becomes that's oldish? That's oldish. An old man with grey hair like you will be interrupting a so-called childish person like me. Then where will my head begin? So please stop the interruptions and let's have a discourse. So I'm saying that this woman is campaigning. The people are hearing her message. She doesn't go and attack people or name call people or laugh on podiums or deceive people. Why? Her counterpart in the MPP, Dr. Bawumia, is somebody that today his credibility has been dwindled. His credibility has been tainted. His credibility has been soaked in the mud. Why? He said he had arrested the dollar and kept the keys in the IGP's hands. Today, the dollar is almost 6 cedis. Why? He went to the north. He said that. He said that. He had said he had arrested the dollar and the key was even with the IGP. Today, the dollar has broken jail, has gone to the markets, and is the biggest criminal because $1 enters $1 enters the market and takes 6 cedi away. Who is more of a criminal than this dollar and than the dollar in the country today? Why? Yesterday, I watched Northeast Regional Chiefs holding a meeting and saying that Dr. Bawumia came to cut short for a regional hospital there, and that it was supposed to be completed in November this month. Till today, when they visited the land, somebody had planted corn on the land and was awaiting harvest. and it's not laugh.
I mean, it's not funny.
Why you say it's not funny? Because it's a lie. It's a wicked lie.
I will send you the video and we'll play it for the end of the show.
It's a wicked lie. Send the video.
So, okay, so why? Is it not the fact that this chief said categorically that they did not understand why Bawumia would deceive people and come and deceive them? Then somebody told them. He said President Akufo-Addo had even deceived God. He told God he would build a national cathedral for him and pledge to God and told him he would set it up. Today, what has happened to that?
Because we objected to it.
So because we objected to the demolition of not less than 60 high-rise buildings, we objected to the relocation and spending the taxpayers' money to feed, and accommodate these high court and judges, and objected to the demolition of the passport office and other buildings that had been serving critical and integral purposes in this country. You think that because of that, President Akufo-Addo should go and deceive God and should not put up such a building? If you wanted to build it, we said that you could even go somewhere and other lands and build it. We had no problem with that. And so it is simple that the MPP government have chosen to deceive the people of this country. They've chosen to peddle falsehood and we have also decided that with our integral running mate, he is receiving calls from panel. That is what you get from your panelists. He will interject, he will receive calls and call people childish. An old man like that. So we have said that
when I call him childish,
it is simple.
When I call him childish,
he said it is funny.
And he has been saying this
so it's biting. When you said it and they asked you to apologize, you refused. Now you are running
your behavior is so childish.
Oldish behavior of receiving calls.
See, your behavior is so childish.
That is okay.
You talk childish.
Let us put it aside.
You think Ghanaians
People are sending me videos though.
You think Ghanaians
for this childish behavior. Okay. Let's come to Benjamin. Let's hear from you.
Kwame, I think I've listened to both sides where people are playing gender card. I think if we are supposed to play gender card, then CPP should be at the forefront because consistently we have had female chair. And then at one point in time in just political dispensation, we've had a woman running mate who is currently our chair. So for women, championing women, CPP is on top compared to these two political parties. Also, it's on record that for the first time in our history, a woman general secretary, CPP has elected a woman general secretary by name Nana Yajantua. For the first time in our history, it tells you that CPP values women and know what the women can bring on board. So people should not play gender card with one particular woman they've given an opportunity to serve or being a running mate. It doesn't show that they love women more than any other party. But you see, I'm sad because starting with the Jane issue, I didn't want to go much into it because they are now self-glorifying her being a game changer, maybe to NDC but not to CPP. All right, now okay. So now the saddest part and the reason why I'm wearing a black smoke is because of the actions of the EC yesterday. I think EC is selling our democracy to the richest person or the richest bidder. We've always been saying that per the functions of the EC as established by Article 46 of our Constitution, right, or Article 45 of our Constitution, the EC is not a GRA, it's not a revenue authority. The EC's mandate is to conduct fair elections for the good people of Ghana, allowing the masses. I don't know whether the masses here is what my brother means by saying they are jokers or whatever, but allowing the masses to contest and be elected for.
The masses are jokers.
So when you even look at the EC's medium-term development framework, Kwame, the EC has expenditure side, but EC does not have internal generated fund side or revenue side because they are not a revenue making organization. Theirs is to spend, and when they tell the government gives them the money.
You have internal generated.
Oh, my brother, when you were talking, I didn't.
No,
talk.
I'm only
No, let's say that.
I'm not challenging you, but I'm just adding
So let him make his point. So
when they go to conduct primaries, they get money. It's part of their internal.
This is document. I didn't prepare this document.
Yeah.
This is their document. They prepared it and gave it to Minister of Finance.
Yeah.
Based on their budget appropriation 2020. And the budget appropriation 2020, EC never added internal generated fund because
it doesn't mean they don't normally get.
Oh my brother, they are not a fund making organization. This is to conduct good and fair election for the good people of Ghana. Allow every Ghanaian to contest this election. Now EC comes and then sets a high target as much as 100,000, implying that if you are a person, an ordinary teacher, you can't file for this particular election, being an independent candidate or even as a parliamentary candidate. For example, Kwame, we all know teachers how much they take in this country. Teachers take maybe 1,000, 5,000 too, depending on the rank. Even some take 1,800. Now, if EC is telling you that bring 10,000 to file for a parliamentary position, 10,000 is almost 90% of your salary per annum. My brother. So what is EC telling us? EC is now selling our democracy to the highest bidder. And the rich person. Now, in another instance, I hear people and they say, oh, if you're a flag bearer, you have to mobilize funds. And that's the cause of corruption. That's the reason why we have corruption, abundant corruption in this system. And that is what EC is championing. EC is telling us that as a CPP candidate, lawyer Greenship should go to people, get their money, and then when he wins, he gives contract to them because they paid for his filing. Filing fee should be the cheapest of all electoral process because every Ghanaian responsible under the constitution, if you are qualified, should be able to contest.
Yeah, sound
mind and 40 years and above.
40 years and above.
Not rich.
For the presidential law.
Shouldn't be for the rich and the affluent.
Affluent, but this is what the EC is telling us. And I hear, you see, I'm one person who believes that political parties should be funded by the state.
Absolutely.
We've been calling for this fight with my brother Saka and
But you know the strangest thing is that they do tax audit, they do auditing.
Yes.
They do political party auditing. So they audit the political parties. So how would you justify the fact that, if, for instance, if I'm just using the CPP, CPP has not been in power for God knows how many years. So when it comes to finances, they may be a little, cash strapped, challenged or handicapped, right? So how would a CPP be able to justify, for instance, being able to raise 100,000 Ghana cedis and their parliamentary candidates also being able to raise the amount of money? That's ridiculous,
So what they are telling us is that imagine CPP is going to file for 275, which still we are thinking about it. 275 persons times 10,000 is 2.something million Ghana cedis.
Million? What kind of million?
No, I'm talking about million in terms of million. Million Ghana cedis. 5 million Ghana cedis. 2.75 million Ghana cedis in addition to logistics, materials, posters, t-shirts, and everything. Then you come here and tell us that it is a fair deal. I think the EC should be talked to, because we shall not allow our democracy to be sold to the highest bidder. Now, another thing, and I'm very sad, and I know I'm not speaking as a member of the Convention People's Party, but as a Ghanaian, an independent candidate, as a political party who loves Ghana and wants to govern Ghana and send Ghana to the right place. I think the EC is not being fair to Ghanaians. She should come again. Now, I think my brother here and Basinta Malik mentioned, is it Abron? No, the other man, the Deputy General Secretary. Obribwine. Speaking that, it is fair. It is fair because they are in government. When they were in opposition, they fought alongside the CPP when the EC then raised 50,000 as a presidential filing fee. They supported us, they fought for us, but today they are in government. So ask me, why are they now supporting this 100,000? Because they are looting and sharing our national resources. They can afford it. Even look at their primaries. And I think some of these things come because easy things that all political parties are rich, or Ghanaians are rich, based on the primaries of the MPP. Because during their primaries, they shared booties. Some even shared $100 and $5,000. I
wow.
heard. Oh my brother,
$1,000.
$1,000. Share $1,000.
American quid.
American dollars. So when EC hears that MPP is sharing $1,000, the case is that every political party can file 10,000 at the constituency level. $1,000 American dollars. See, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed to mention it in dollars, but they share dollars to their constituency. Oh, I agree. I can substantiate. Let me get to the constitution. New Drabin South.
Yes.
New
Drabin South.
Yes. It was discussed.
The guy shared
$1,000 was discussed.
It was discussed.
When the chairman was losing in Bantima,
Yeah.
he said it that his opponent was sharing 4,500 and fridges and other things.
Yes.
fridge.
So when EC hears this, he thinks that political parties and Ghanaians are
Somebody
rich.
took cars to the venue.
Right? The EC thinks that Ghanaians are rich, so we should put filing fees at 10,000, 100,000, selling our democracy.
I'm scandalized.
So when I heard the story yesterday, the whole of CPP started mourning. Yeah, we've been mourning because the democracy we fought for, the independence CPP fought for, now it's been thrown to the dogs. Excuse my language. It's been thrown to the highest bidder, whereby the poor and the masses who want to govern this country cannot get a chance to. And let me also tell you, see, when you are rich doesn't mean you have sense. Excuse my language. When you are rich, can afford, can pay the 10,000, can pay the 100,000, doesn't mean you have sense to rule or to govern this country. There are people, poor people at the grassroots, right? There are teachers at the grassroots. There are laborers at the grassroots. There are security men at the grassroots who have been toiling each and every day.
Mensah Doji seems to agree with you on this subject matter of sharing money, because Mensah Doji on Facebook says even in Kwabenya they shared 6,000 Ghana cedis and flat screen to delegates.
What you said.
So somebody says, Saka, raise your head. Why are you buying the head?
So you see, Kwame, you see our challenge as a country. Now what? What the EC, the Electoral Commission, is doing today.
You can have yours.
What the Electoral Commission is doing today, or what they are doing today as a body, is selling our democracy. And every Ghanaian, every responsible Ghanaian interested in the progressive movement of this country must come out against this higher filing fees, because when we set higher filing fees, that's the root cause of corruption. That's the root cause of corruption. Because, for example, Saka says, oh, go and mobilize. I'll go and mobilize. I'll go to Chinese. And it's on record that Chinese even found our election. I'll go to Chinese, I'll go to Lebanese, I'll go to Indians. It doesn't allow, but it is there. If you can research to my brother. Oh, I'm not done. Oh, Saka, I'm not done.
No, let him.
Saka, I'm not done.
I told you I'll give you 1 minute. I told you.
But what if you give me 1 minute? So Kwame, what we are saying is that I think the EC should review this course, because if EC doesn't review this higher filing fees, then EC is the one championing corruption in this country. Okay. And the special prosecutor, if he's listening and watching, I know he's doing that, should now go to EC, because the root cause of corruption starts from the EC.
According to our very own Benjamin, he says that the EC is championing corruption, and the EC is the root cause of all corruption related matters in this country.
When
1 minute, just 1 minute.
Yeah, I think it will be hypocritical. Okay. On my part, and most especially on the part of the NDC, to come and sit here and say the 100,000 is so huge an amount that because I said that it is affordable, it means that we have stolen money. Let me tell you the NDC primaries. Kwame.
Yes, sir. I'm listening.
Do you know that the NDC actually asked that presidential primaries 400,000? Because there were people uproar, they reduced it from 400,000 to 300,000. And indeed, John Dramani Mahama, as a presidential candidate of the NDC, paid 300,000 as a filing fees. So if you pay 300,000 as filing fees, and then the Electoral Commission say, come and pay 100,000, why would you come and sit here and say that because I agree with the Electoral Commission, because of that we have stolen money? The MPP that we are even in power, Nana Akufo-Addo paid 200,000 as filing fees. the NDC who stole money and then they stuck the money somewhere and chopping nyafu, pay 300,000. If it is about, if filing fee defines the amount of money one stole, then it means that it goes without saying that the NDC have stolen more than any other, a political party. So for me, I don't want to play the hypocrite by saying that 300 paying 100,000 is huge when in fact at my doorstep we pay 200,000.
Okay.
When the NDC says that 100,000 is big, when in fact they pay 300,000 after they even mention 400,000, and then the people have to cry, and they reduce it from 400,000 to 300,000.
Okay.
So the hypocrisy and the lies that the NDC normally go around with, that is the reason why I have always said that when it comes to honesty, don't ever, believe the NDC. They are a very dishonest political party. Look at their manifesto promises. You say you pay assemblymen. Meanwhile, from 2000 up to today, every election they put it in their manifesto that they will pay assemblymen, even including the last manifesto.
Election. I see.
You understand what I'm saying? You say that Okada, or the way you come, you legalize Okada. Meanwhile, you were the very people who legalized Okada, who made it unlawful.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
I
mean, there are so many because of lack of time.
Yeah,
we would have interrogated the hypocrisy and the double standard of these NDC people.
All right.
And let Ghanaians see them for who they are.
All right, thank you. Let me come to you, Benjamin Isia, before I go to Malik, and then we'll wrap up the show.
So, in wrapping up, I still maintain that if you want to have a good democracy, every Ghanaian, every responsible Ghanaian must be allowed to participate in this election, regardless of your poverty, your background. Kwame, you see, the saddest part is that the saddest part. The saddest part is that, Kwame, in Ghana here, as we speak, 8 million Ghanaians cannot afford $1.25 a day. So if $1.25 a day is about 10 cedis or more a day, 8 million Ghanaians cannot afford that.
Yeah.
Every report shows that most Ghanaians are poor. So now when you raise higher filing fees, what you are telling us is that you are separating the poor from the rich.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? Yeah. And that is what CPP is not fighting for CPP, but we are fighting for every Ghanaian. So every ordinary Ghanaian.
The charcoal sellers.
Every charcoal seller, tomato seller, pepper seller, every Ghanaian who thinks that he has something to contribute into the development or governance of this country should be allowed. And I have the belief that even persons who have interest to show that they want to govern this country should be allowed to govern without even paying a penny.
Okay.
So far as they meet certain standards established by the law. Yes, if you go and queue, that's so far be it.
Queue to become presidential
my brother, if you queue to become 5, so be it, because you have something.
So if it is zero amount, won't you also go and contest?
I will not be able to go because the constitution limits has a.
You are not up to 40
I'm not
years.
up to 40.
So that is the only thing that will.
So sound mind,
you will go.
Right?
Yeah, I will go.
Yes, if you go far, if your party allows you to go, fine be it.
So that will be a joke.
Saka. If your party agrees for you to go, so be it. But what I'm saying is that EC should reconsider this decision, because Ghanaians will not sit and watch EC sell our democracy to the rich.
We're actually seeking to push for the reduction in the age limit for people contesting for the presidency. I think we need to bring it down to maybe 35 years or so that everybody can get opportunity.
Even 35, not everybody will get
the youth. Yeah, but at least 35 is better than 40. Yes, sir.
I don't know from which portal a lot of people listen to said debate, but sitting here,
several platforms.
Sitting here, I never said that we were challenging the 100,000 filing fee. What I said was that in opposition, your party said 50,000 was too much. But now you are saying the 100,000 is okay. That was the point I sought to make. I never said that somebody said that. I mean, it is too much, or NDC says 100,000.
So for you, is it okay or not?
We haven't taken a decision on that yet.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that in opposition, your party said 50,000 was small.
So what has changed?
Now, what has changed? That's the question. Now, you quickly jumped and said that we have been putting a manifesto that we do pay assembly members. It is false. The only time we kept in our manifesto, was in 2012. Okay. Now, these are manifesto promises. You promised every region a theater. Where's the theater? You said one region, one theater. You promised every region
one is being
built. You said one region, one market, district, one market. Where is it? You promised to construct a Jamestown, a harbor in Jamestown, a harbor in Cape.
It's been done.
Where is it? The Cater Port. In fact, a CEO has been appointed. Today, when you go there, it is bare land. Nothing has been done. You promised free Wi-Fi for senior high school students. Where is it? You promised 350 new senior high schools in your manifesto. Where is it? You promised
which part of our manifesto?
Where is it? You promised.
He's lying. We never promised that one in our manifesto.
In Takrade, you are only making noise. In Takrade, it never materialized.
You
promised solar parks, okay, in the northern parts of this country. Where is it? I can go on and on and on and on. So I simply do not.
It's a lie. We never promised 350.
The NDC has promised assembly members. You are not an assembly member, and so you simply will not benefit
you have always
from this assembly member salary. That is why you seek to attack it. You are not an Okada rider, so you will not benefit from the Okada riders. That is why you are attacking it. You are not. Maybe your money is not locked up in any bank that has been collapsed by President Akufo.
But you collapsed the bank.
That is why you simply are speaking against President Mama, saying that you pay all these banks.
You collapsed the bank.
As you sit here, you are not going to enjoy from the military. Maybe you don't want to visit the military hospital. You are not going to enjoy from the Onipa Nuya and the revamping of the Onuado mobile clinics that will seek to go around. Maybe you never force it, but people force it. Maybe you have so much money that since you can support, can you control the old man?
Because you are not asking the question.
No,
when he was lying,
can you control your panelists?
No, hold on. No, let him make his point.
I beg you,
let him make the lies.
Can you control your panelists?
From there.
Can you control your panelists?
Go ahead.
Can you control your panelists, please?
Go ahead.
Go ahead
and
before the beginning. Now, is it not a fact that if you can raise 100,000 probably for your party, you can get free health care in abroad, in US, or when you are sick, you can go to South Africa? Is it not a fact that there are people in this country, like myself and many other people, that cannot even afford to go for for primary health care? President Mama says when I come, I'll make all that free. You sit here and you attack that policy. President Mama says that when he comes, he will complete the e-blocks that he commenced. Today, they are physical. Gafili Gadochi. You go around and you find these e-blocks everywhere. In conclusion, why are you attacking the policies that seek to transform this country? The policies that seek to create 1 million jobs, that seek to invest 1 billion in infrastructure, that seek to support upcoming companies.
10 billion.
That's 10 billion, sorry. That seeks, to support upcoming businesses. That seek to clear a first year and second year tax. That give them tax, new businesses tax incentive. That seek, to support all these petty industries and create jobs in this country. Why will you sit here as an
Thank you very much. I far exceeded my time. Papaya bless and Domenico says, Saka, raise your head now. Juliana Belinda Lamte Obri says, pound is 7 Ghana cedis. Anochi Edu Sim says, even here in Nkranza North, Derek Odro gave 2,000 Ghana cedis with smartphones to each delegate. So no wonder cry. Balim Gurifiri says, Saka is just distracting the program. Or is it because he has nothing to say? Well, Saka has a lot to say. Papa Iya Bless and Domenico says, Saka is frustrated this morning. Please, Mr. Host, allow him. If not, he will. Listen to this and then laugh small. The guy says, Saka is frustrated. Please, Mr. Host, allow him to talk. Otherwise, he will cry. Found out to be funny. Today, the honorable president will take his own chair. Saka Salia, the CDP guy is simply genius. Please tell them the hard truth. That is very outrageous. How can the ordinary citizen take part in the parliamentary position here in Ghana? Saka says that particular position is not for jokers, my brother. If you don't have money, don't win. Eric Mike Kelson says, tell the MPP man to show proof that the NDC has stolen money. If he does not have some, then tell him to keep quiet. Now, hey, you added now to it too. Tell Sakatalia that he is trending. Saka has to tell you are trending because almost all the messages are about Saka. Tell Malik that his junior brother King is watching. Good job done. Kingsley Basintale sent in this one. Isaac Otu, that's your brother?
Yeah.
Isaac Otu says, it's very sad the MPP man is defending the indefensible EC. Why? Papaya, the NDC communication team have young men, and trust me, they are gems from the top to down. Evans Bukare says, Pan-African TV, you are simply too much. Let me do a few WhatsApp messages. I know my production team are very upset with me this morning, but I just want to give the indulgence for a few seconds. Champion, this is the video that Basintale spoke about. I've sent it to you, Adam, if you can check it. KOD Abantama, it was $1,000 or equivalent 5,000 Ghana cedis from James in Kumasi. Tell Malik I need his contact. I am Ahmed from Kuforidia. This one says, please, Malik, I need your contact. This one also said, the next NDC administration will legalize and regulate Okada for safety. There's nothing in the MPP manifesto, hence they are helping us propagate our promises to the nation. Regards to Honorable A.B. Hussein from Osman in Tamale. This one says, good morning to you. In fact, Saka Saleh can lie. I wonder what he seeks to achieve. Anyway, thank God he has taken office. his grown beard because you can't lie with that kind of beard. Abdul Jalil Lamin sent in this one. Please, if you call the WhatsApp number, yes. If you don't stop calling the WhatsApp number, I can't read your messages. So those of you calling, please stop. Sakapa, we the listeners are descending, so stop the unnecessary interjections. Mahama Tuli is ruling Ghana from opposition. Surely Mahama Prince from Tema sent in this one. The NPP man must be something of himself. Exhibition exercise. Where is it? Exhibition exercise for the temporal voters register will begin this month. Yet the temporal electoral officers for the just ended voter registration exercise are yet to receive their allowances due them from Easy Francis from Tamale sent in this one. This is J. John Chikata watching you from Pram Pram, and you say, why is Saka not allowing? Why Saka didn't say that even Saka will contest the race if the filing fee? Oh, please stop calling the WhatsApp number. What are you seeking to achieve when you call? I can't take your calls. Does he think that? Okay, right. So you are saying that Saka says jokers. Essentially, that's what you mean. Good morning to KOD and your panel, especially my communication officer Basintale. KOD, NDC is poised to win in the 2020 elections because MPP have miserably failed us. I am Gufran from Damango. Okay, you deleted your message. I don't know why you did that. I'm Divine from Pokras. He says, Mr. Ho, this MPP man should keep quiet because they are going out of power. Okay, that's your message. This one says, good morning to you, KOD and your panelists. Mr. Saka has been dishonest. Internal party funding is different from national elections. High filing fees is a means. Please stop calling the WhatsApp number. High filing fees is a means of internally generating revenue for the parties, but EC is not set up to generate revenue, but to deliver free and fair elections. Moses sends this one in from Sabuba. The problem, okay, MPP is not a good party to join, and this has been confirmed by the party's own finances. Please watch the video above. You sent me a video. I cannot unfortunately watch it this morning. This one also says the problem is very simple. The vigilantes have already been conscripted into the security services. Lamenting Joe sent in this message. Ask Basin tell you why he makes Saka mad this morning. Kadir Kayaba. I hope I got the name right. KOD, why do you give the NDC guy free flow, but Saka you will not allow him? It's not good, cry. Oh, my brother, if you watch the show power from the beginning to end, you know I allow Saka power. Okay, even at Ejoso, one delegate received 10,400 Ghana cedis. Every parliamentary, even at Ejoso, you said what? 10,400 Owusu Adiome or something like that. 5,000. Adam, stop giving me pressure. I hear you talking to the guys. Lawyer Kuma gave 5,000 each. The woman also gave 4,000 Ghana each. So imagine if you ask an issue, the kind of money she gave and then innocent says NDC can increase filing fee to generate revenue for the party. Ask Saka, is EC also going to generate revenue for whatever reason? The messages, I have 1,400 messages. Oh, an SMS. Oh, Honorable, you've not sent it to me. Honorable, you've not sent it to me. Whether you are lying, the video is not what. Okay, the video is downloaded. I thought you said the video hasn't been downloaded. Good morning to Champion Kyo. The Honorable Kennedy Japan really goofed in his statement and attacks on the judges, but I can bet you he's going to work free. Isako from Tamale sent in this one. Why is the MPP not asking Ghanaians to send MTN Momo now for their campaign when they did that in opposition? Dipku Ishmael in Wa Traffic says, good morning to you, Shay. If lies is your strategy again for re-election after 4 years of deceit, cluelessness, ineptness, and wickedness, then you need a ladder to see your defeat come December 2020. Saka, can you mention a single woman in MPP who can be compared to Prof, the game changer? No wonder you are Sakawa communicators. Don't start what you can't end. Stop the chat on the national TV. Greetings to Bunas, NDC regional chairman. And KOD at Bantama, it was $1,000. James from Kumasi. This one says, I'm watching you live and before God, I'm enjoying your program. God bless you. The man you met at the filling station yesterday at Kiseman, Apostle Dr. Evans Samuel Tete. Oh, Apostle, good morning to you. No, he didn't give me free for. I was actually trying to do, you know, I don't know how to do this mobile money through the ATMs. So I initiated the process. I was trying to withdraw the money no cap. So my money locked. Oh, I'm telling you, my money has locked. And then to add injury to Saul, I called the MTN people and I told them that, Charlie, emergency, I need the money. They told me I need 72 hours for my own money. What is that? What is that? Charlie, yesterday the way I broke, Charlie. Anyway, Charlie, I've not seen the Honorable's message. Good morning. Why do you often allow these MP reps on the program to always interject? I've not seen. If you can send it to you while I still have time to read. Musa Abatwa in Kumasi. Good morning to you, heavyweight champion KOD. The CPB man and Basintele are giving us factual presentation. On the other hand, Saka Salia is going pure propaganda. Those who come with equity must come with clean hands. Akufo-Addo must first deal with his vigilante growth before calling others. He is the beneficiary of political violence in this country. And I think on the basis of all of these, and I've not received Honorable's message, I need to bring the show to a complete close. But before I leave, let me, with all the excitement and the hysteria in me, wish Alberta Ado Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who is our indefatigable female camera woman here at Pan-African Television. I'm telling you, a happy birthday. Today is her birthday. I hope you are going to buy a cake so that we can all enjoy. She's on the screens now. Ado.
Looks like she's going for Ghana most beautiful.
I'm telling you. We call her Mame Sewa in this at Pan-African TV here. Happy birthday to you, Alberta Ado, who's a cinematographer here at Pan-African Television. And also, he said, "Oh, those of you who want to see her, Sewa, come. This one, yeah, hurry up. This is what makes the morning show exciting. Yeah, we do whatever we want. So this is Sewa. Say happy. So happy. Saka, always say happy birthday. So happy birthday. All the best.
We wish you all the best. Okay.
So I will see you guys tomorrow. Do have a very wonderful day. Also, happy birthday to Philip of Kulunga Limited. Today is also your birthday. Enjoy your day to the max. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We end with a video that Basintele spoke about. I have not seen it, and I guess you've not seen it as well. Let's all watch it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
10th of December 2019, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia was in his hometown Wale for an official duty. He cut short for works to begin for the construction of two major projects, a watermelon processing factory and a 100-bed hospital. While the watermelon factory was to be facilitated by the Exim Bank, the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation GNPC accepted to provide funding for the hospital project. Before the sword cutting, there was a short ceremony at the village of Logere, attended by chiefs and people of the Mampurugu traditional area. Dr. Bawumia re-emphasized the hospital project was to be completed in 12 months. However, with less than 3 months to the 12-month execution period, and as part of fact-checking the government infrastructure claims, Joy News visited the project site. First, we found that while the project was nowhere to be found on the government infrastructure delivery tracker as ongoing or completed, the proposed site for the project had been turned into a maize farm. We saw a wooden structure and 2 heaps of sand. No sign of ongoing construction work. At the Logere community, we found the man who planted the maize on the land for the project, and we asked him why he did that. Listen to his response.
They came with chiefs and demanded for my land last season. They earmarked about 158 acres and even stopped me from farming on that land last year. But they never returned until this season, after I farmed on the land. They came and informed me of their intention to start the project. So they said they were going to destroy my farm the project to begin of maize. This is the source of livelihood for my family and I. And I have about 11 children who are in school, so I don't have anything to do.
Officers,
The 100-bed hospital was to have the complement of facility and units of a modern health delivery facility. But with the project yet to begin, the residents are accusing the government of deception. Here are some of the residents speaking to Joy News.
That they brought 2 tipper trucks of sand, 1 sand and 1 quarry dust, to that piece of land. And the vice president vehemently said, and I quote, that this project will be commissioned before this 2020 elections. And up to now, as a concerned citizen of Wale Wale and Mampurugu, no work has been done to that particular site. Nothing. And you can go there with your cameras and see nothing has been done. And as a result of that, the people in Wale Wale have come out to Chile. If we come out, the people will think that we are sabotaging him.
The vice president.
But really on the ground, nothing is happening. And I can say on authority that since the assumption of MPP into office, there is no single project that the vice president have cut short and they have commissioned it and have been put into use.
I'm very worried because as you can hear and you can see, the vice president, the current vice president is our brother, whom we are proud of for being a Wale Walean, at the same time somebody who is coming from the north. But in another words, it's very painful for him to come and promise the good people of Wale Wale, which is the very person that we are depending on. You promise us at the end of the day, it won't happen. We are very, very worried.
Ilyasu Tanko reporting for Joy News.
Truly African.